Hello, hello, everyone. How are we doing? We good? Brilliant. So, hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Raymond. I am a leadership executive coach and trainer. I'm also a supplier diversity advocate, which means I help entrepreneurs, micro business owners, women, neurodiverse people get corporate contracts. As you heard from the MC, I am also sit on the board of Lloyds Bank, making sure they do the right thing for small business owners. I'm a TEDx speaker, and I do my leadership training here in the UK, but also in Dubai. Anyone been to Dubai? Do you like Dubai? Would you like to go to Dubai? Okay, I'm going to share something with you. So before we get started, I want to find out from you here, by a show of hands, how many of you have a service or a product that you can sell to corporates? Okay, there's quite a few of you. And for those who didn't put their hands up, is it because you don't think they will buy it, or it's just not relevant? What's the situation? Not relevant. What do you do, my lovely? Okay. But salon owners, actually, I want to challenge you, because there's small salon owners and there's big. And could you do your business mentoring for big salon owners as well? Brilliant. Okay. So when I talk about corporates, I'm not just talking about the big, massive, massive brands. These corporates can be any organizations that have staff that you can support, that you can help, that you can mentor, that you can coach. So that's what I'm talking about. So I want you to make some notes. I do not have any slides for you. We're going to write some notes because I know my presentation, right? So I want you to concentrate on what I'm saying rather than the slides. So there's 3 things I'm going to share with you. Let me just make sure I don't go over time. Okay, brilliant. So the 3 things I want to share with you to make sure that you are ready to sell to corporates. Now, a lot of people get nervous and scared and think, oh my God, they wouldn't buy me, I'm too small. But let me tell you something. I've been working with organizations for a number of years. And what they are looking for small business owners who are responsive. So when you're talking to any of these larger organizations or medium-sized, you're responsive, you're agile, which means you can respond to changes quickly. This is what some of the other organizations can't do, because I'm sure you know that when you're trying to get through to organizations online, they have so many different layers. There's so many people you need to go through. But when they work with us, it's usually just us and a very small team, which means we can be flexible, we are agile, we're innovative, and we are the end users, so we know exactly how to help these companies. So these are some of the things that you can put in your pitch, some of the things you can put in your proposal. And part of our journey to raise our income, because that's what we want to do, the whole event is called In My Bag. And I want to show you ways that you can use corporates, and it should be part of your strategy in making money. What happens is we sell to each other all the time. And we get tired of selling to each other. We get tired of buying from each other. So my thing is, why don't you use your existing skills and sell it to corporates? And when we're talking about corporates, they're still people, but they have the money to pay you. Somebody said to me more recently, Michelle, why is your mentoring program the price that it is? So it's £6,000, right? And they couldn't understand, with all my years of experience, my years of credibility, why is it so cheap? And I said, it's not cheap, it's cost effective, because it makes sense to me to charge the corporates the 20K, so that the people who I really want to work with, who I know cannot afford 10K, 15K, I can then sell it to them at a reasonable price, so they don't need to remortgage, they don't need to take out a loan, that they can still eat, So this is why I sell to corporates, because it makes sense. They can pay me, and then I can serve the people who I really love at a price that they can afford. So now let's look at the very first thing, what you need to do to be corporate ready. You need to be able to provide a solution that is business critical. So, Michelle, what do you mean by business critical? Your solution must meet a need that they have, or it must make them money. So think about your service. If you're in health and well-being, if you're an executive coach, if you do teamwork or engagement, think about it. Is that a problem for them? And I can tell you that it is. If you're a leadership coach, that's a business critical problem. How many organizations out there that you know, they need help when it comes to leadership? If you're good at bringing people together, that could be seen as teamwork. So that's something you can do as well. If you're very good at communications, you might do communications for small business owners. Why can't you do that for large organizations? Why can't you tweak it and offer that services to a company that will pay you 30K, £25,000, and then you can still serve your business owners? It's just an added stream of income. That's what I'm sharing with you, an added stream of income. So another key theme, which is business critical for organizations, is cultural and emotional intelligence. So if you have skills around how to bring cultures together, so this is what I do a lot of, right? So in my leadership training and executive coaching, I deliver cultural intelligence training and equity because in the UAE especially, they are multi-generational, multi-dimensional and multicultural. So I get them working together, different people with different values. There's a lot of expats. So I get paid well for doing that. So that's emotional and cultural intelligence. Another thing that they're really keen on, which is no surprise, is AI and tech. And remember, you don't necessarily have to do it. That's the key thing. You may be that type of person that you can bring teams together. You can have associates, you can have networks, and you send them to do it, and you just take a commission on top. So never think that, oh my God, I need to be able to do all of this. They're always looking for speakers, trainers, facilitators, and coaches. Are there any trainers, speakers, facilitators, and coaches in the room? Awesome. And how many of you sell your services to corporates? Good, brilliant. And why? And is there a reason why you don't want to do more, or can you do more? Do you have capacity for more? Definitely. So looking at business critical solutions, so we talked about leadership, teamwork, communication, emotional and cultural intelligence. DE&I is another big thing. And although it may not be as big as it should be in the UK, we can see that there is going down a different direction. But you don't need to offer your services just in the UK. You can be in the UK and still offer your services in different countries. You can, if you like traveling, you get to travel. If you don't want to travel, do it remotely. I was looking at some surveys, and 47% of organizations are willing to spend $50,000 to remote experts. This is us. That survey is for us. 47% are willing to pay $50,000. Who wouldn't mind a bit of $50,000 in their bank account, in their bag? Crazy, right? 50,000. And it's not as hard to get it as most people think. You just need to know who to speak to and what to say. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to answer questions as well as part of this presentation. So the second thing is, after you've got your business critical solution, I want you now to think about, how do I start small to get paid big? So I'm going to share with you a few things that you can start doing now. You can offer it complimentary or at a low cost so that they get to know, like, and trust you. So the first thing is executive roundtables. So executive roundtables is more or less like this, where you can go to an organization and you might reach out to them and say, I've got a new product or new service coming out, and I think it'd be great for your teams. I would love to offer a complimentary executive roundtable. I will host it. You will ask them specific questions, you get their feedback, and you do a survey. Based on the results of the survey, should be enough leverage and ammunition for you to come in and get paid. So this is a strategy I use all the time. I've done this with Amazon, I've done this with BP. I literally will go in and say, I know you don't know me, but I know and I understand the market. You've got to understand the market in which you operate in. And you can do that by looking at Google Alerts. You can look at industry trade magazines just to get some information. Because positioning is very important. Many of us here will say we are coaches, consultants, trainers, and speakers. But when you're speaking to corporates, position yourself as an advisor. That's the key point, a key takeaway. You wouldn't go up to them and say, oh, I'm an executive coach and trainer. You could say that, but what you want to say is, I am an advisor, a strategic advisor on coaching, training, speaking. And you can deliver it too. Because what happens, they see advisors different from just people who say that they're trainers, speakers, and consultants. They pay you better, and they hold you in a higher esteem. So you can still do the work, but it's positioning. So you can do executive roundtables, or you can do lunch and learns. Now, lunch and learns is where you'll ask them to get a number of employees onto a Zoom call, a Microsoft Teams call, and there may be a particular subject that you want to teach so they get to know, like, and trust you. So this is something that I did, and I did it for one department. I did it from an ERG, which is an employee resource group of organizations, and they enjoyed it. And then I think less than 6 months later, they contacted me and said, can you do it again for another department? Then I did it for another department. So I was booked out the whole entire year based on a free lunch and learn I did the year before. So this is not a quick fix. It will take time, but it pays handsomely. If you have patience, it will pay you very, very well. Okay, so we've got executive roundtables, we've got lunch and learns, you can do surveys, you can do audits. Audits are really easy. You might say, let me just take an assessment of the problem and give you a solution. And you'll hear from Daniel Priestley later. You can use your score app for that. They love that. They love data, anything that's data-driven. So we've got executive roundtables, lunch and learns, surveys, audits, and you can also do fireside chats, where you just get a team of senior executives. Is this helping anyone? You're getting a lot from it, right? Okay. So the last area. So we've talked about business critical solutions. We talked about starting small to play big. And now the last half is your corporate network. Because you might be saying, this sounds all well and good, Michelle, but where do I find these people? So your corporate network, there are 3 things, and many of you have heard me say this before, there are 3 types of networks you want to tap into. Because we know a lot of people, but we don't leverage our network. We'll talk to you here, but you don't leverage. Leverage means building a relationship that's a win-win situation for both of you. So let me show you how to do that when it comes to corporates to get visibility. There's called the 3 I's. The first one is insiders. In every organization, there are people that work in these organizations. They're the employees. How many of you know at least 5 employees? Yeah, of course you must know, because not all your friends are entrepreneurs. Even some entrepreneurs are still employees. And have you leveraged them? And have you told them what you do and how you do it and how you can help? Sometimes the people closest to you are your entry, and we have not even utilized them. But yet we want to go for the big, big boys when there's people right next to you that can give you the access. So these are insiders. The second one are influencers. So now these are decision makers, MDs, heads of departments. Find out from them. Ask them who they can do an introduction for, a referral. These are influencers. How many of us know at least 3 influencers? They might be heads of divisions, heads of department, managing directors. And I'm sure if you were to go through your LinkedIn, you know a MD, you know a CEO, you know a head of a division. Reach out to them. The third one are the impacted. So whatever solution you provide, it's the end user, the person who's going to benefit from what you offer. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm currently in talks with Visa, literally because I put a WhatsApp status saying, oh, I was talking about what I offer, but I was saying it in a sentence. And somebody saw that and said, oh my God, Michelle, we really need you at Visa because we're going through that. And I was like, okay, let's talk. And that's what we're doing now. We're just in conversation. I'm not selling anything. I just want to hear what the problem is and see if I'm actually the right person to resolve that issue. But she is the impacted because she was going through the same thing that I provide a solution to. So how many of you can say you know at least 5 people who can benefit from your services? At least 5 people. Is there anyone, and think about it, if you've already had clients who's benefited from your service, they probably know someone else and know somebody else. And once again, it's leveraging that network. I talked about the 3 I's in, I think it was Birmingham, I was in Birmingham, and somebody was in the audience, and I got them to actually do it while we were there. I said, use 5 minutes, just go on your phone, go on your tablet and find these 3 people. And I said, don't overthink it. And I had a slide and I said, just copy and paste what I've written. Would you believe, so that was earlier this year, I bumped into her at an event in June. She said to me she did it while she was sat in the conference. And now she has 2 contracts. One was for £10,000, one was for 12.5. And I was sitting there and I was like, my God, I got nothing for this. But I was so pleased for her because what did she do? She took what? Exactly. So sometimes you don't even need to pay for a service. I'm not trying to talk myself out of a service, but you don't even have to have an exchange of currency. But what it was an exchange of value. Because I gave her value, like I gave everybody else in the room, and the value I got back from that was the fact that she did it. And now she's got 2 contracts. And what she does is she helps neurodiverse employees. So her model is a B2C, but she could see how she can help employees. And that's all that she did. So it's definitely possible. So how many of you want an opportunity to be in a room with corporates? So what if I told you that it could be possible? And what if I told you that I've lined up, who have I got? Let me not lie on camera. I have, because one of them dropped out 2 days ago. So we've got BP, we have Ernst & Young, we've got Heinz, Lloyds Bank, HSBC, Kingston University, UCL. These are all brands that want to work with small suppliers. We are suppliers. We are the entrepreneurs they're looking for. So next week, Friday, I'm organizing an event called the Diverse Business Summit. Has anyone heard of that? The Diverse Business Summit. So the Diverse Business Summit helps raise the visibility and the corporate readiness of small business owners like ourselves. And at that event, I've invited these brands, and I'm telling you, it's been hard work trying to get them to come to the event. But I've told them that the types of people in the room, they are hungry, but they are credible, they are valuable, they are ready, they can deliver on the work. So what I wanted to do is create a space where you get to meet them, get to talk, get to network. And this is my second event. And the first time I did it, 6 months later, I did a review to find out how did it go. Because you're not going to come to the event to get a corporate contract, but I want you to meet, network, and what happens, happens. And a number of people got back to me and said, well, I got a paid speaking engagement, one got a hosting gig, another one got a training contract, and I was like blown away because that wasn't the premise of the event. But because we network, that's what we're doing here. They got to know, they were building relationships, and it led to paid work. Who would like some of that? I mean, I was blown away. I mean, I hosted the event, and I didn't get any work from it. How ironic is that? I paid all the big money. But at the end of the day, sometimes, and most of us are coaches and consultants, we love the fact that people in our world, in our network, that they get. Because we can always get, and I always believe if you give, you get back in return. So I want to invite as many of you as who would like to come to the event next week. It's going to be held at County Hall. And what I've done, I've got some cards here with a QR code so that you can scan and come to the event. Now, the event there's a cost to the event, of course, right? Because my venue alone cost me just under £30,000, right? So let's put that into perspective, not including food. But on the day, you get full breakfast. We've got Energizer breakfast, and I saw the menu yesterday, and I was like, wow. And yesterday we had our pre-event session because I want to prepare everybody for the day. So the recording will go out to anyone that wants that. And we're going to have masterclasses. There's going to be a masterclass with somebody who's going to teach us how to build corporate partnerships. Then we have the City of London. They're going to be running a masterclass on how to show that your business has social value. Because working with some of these corporates, they want to see that you're sustainable. So they will be doing that. We also have a corporate open mic. So we'll give 3 lucky attendees a chance to pitch in front of everybody. What else do we have? We also have a procurement challenge where everybody on a table will be given a real challenge, a real corporate challenge. And you get a chance to share your solution or response to it. And you'll be judged by Heinz, Tesco's, Lloyds Bank, and We Connect. That's another brand. So there's lots of great things, and it's a very practical, it's a great opportunity to network. It's going to be informative, and this is how you start building relationships. So this is why I've got a great relationship with Meta, a great relationship with JP Morgan Chase, a great relationship with BP, a great relationship with Tesco's. These are massive brands, but doesn't mean that you can't work with smaller brands. It actually is easier to work with smaller brands. You get paid quicker. All right? So, does anyone want to attend? Let me see a raise of hands. If anyone attends, I'm going to give you, so on here, it says 10% discount, but I'll give you, right, let me ask let me not, yeah? Okay, 40% discount. Does that sound good? No, hello, does this sound good? Okay, don't we want to make more money, guys? Yes, and this is the opportunity to do it. So I'm just going to leave, if you could put a few on people's tables, and I'll give you the code. You didn't say 40. She didn't say 40. And you can scan there and use the code DBS40 special, and then you can get 40% off. Because I want you in the room, I want you to get to know these corporates. There's some people who are here already who are coming to the event. It's going to be a great event. Jojo's going to be there. We've got some great, last year we had, who did we have? Tim Campbell. This year we've got Shah Wasman will be there as our fireside chat. It's going to be a great event. So guys, I'm going to leave you now, but I just want to hear one thing, just shout out one thing that you learnt from today. Just shout out anything. Yes, that's a big thing. It's a big thing, Denise. Okay, give me another share. That's right. You don't even need new ones. You can use the same ones. Anything on this table? That's right. You know you can do that already. Anything from here? Executive influence. I love that. Know your market. Anything else? Ooh. Start small to get big. Lucy? Just have a conversation. One more from the back. What else? What did you learn? Lunch and learns, exactly. One more. Love it. Guys, thank you so much. It's been an honor and it's been a blessing. Thank you so much.
Before you go on, we've still got quite a bit of time. Yeah, we've still got quite a bit of time with Michelle. So who has questions for her? Because I know that corporate is one of those areas that, you know, if we're so used to being online, it's really untapped. So yeah, who's got a question? Adil, you can go first.
So the first question realistically is, how would you position the executive roundtable? Like, would it be very much a, hey, I have this idea that could really help you out, I want to invite you over, or?
Brilliant question. So what was asked is, how do you position executive roundtables? So what you would do is find a particular industry that you want to host this for. So let's say if you want to do the marketing industry, just go online, go onto Google Alerts, go also on Gartner HR, Gartner, and just have a look and see what's happening in the marketing industry, whatever the challenges are. And so you'll find out the challenges by the types of people they're hiring, look at their press releases, and then identify something that you could speak about, and then you can say, listen, we can understand that in the marketing industry right now, A, B, and C is happening. I would love to host an executive roundtables with your senior leaders where there is a safe space to discuss these challenges and come up with some solutions, and you'll write a mini one-page report. That is it. And because they value outside experts, because you're not in you're not in the mess, so you can see things from an outside perspective. Brilliant. If you feel that you're not ready, corporate, not ready, small, only just started, yes, that seems really far. That does. So how does a small start see you? Just you know what I would do is, yeah, I would say you just want to be in the atmosphere. Go to more networking events and be where other corporates are so you can hear what their challenges are. So when you are ready, you're already prepared. The thing is, what people tend to do is they'll say, yeah, I'm ready, but they never built the work beforehand. So I always say, build it before you need it. Definitely.
I've got the mic, so I'm going to come round because I just realised that. Who do you want next? Oh, no. Yeah, hands up. Let's give someone else a chance.
The host has a lot of questions. Was there someone? Yeah. And then there's Claire at the back.
Morning.
Morning.
So I just wondered, so I've worked in local government for over 12 years with senior leaders, directors, strategic directors. So the executive roundtable, even though I'm just starting out as a coach myself, however, I have a network across London. So would you suggest that even though I'm a new to coaching myself, like I've launched this year, would you say that may be a little bit too out of my depth, even though I have the network?
I would say don't run before the walking. So what you can do is, why don't you organise something within your network, at work, with people that know you and that will be forgiving. Okay. And all you need to do, you don't have to be a coach to run an executive roundtable, because you're going to position yourself as the facilitator. You just need some good questions to get the dynamics going, the dialogue going. That's all you need to do. You're not going to be doing deep coaching. So you could still do it, but I would say do it at a small level with these people that know you, because you know the challenges, you're in the midst of it, and you say, listen, I would love to organise a little round table with this department. I want us to have a safe space to discuss, and let's see what becomes of it. That is it. And then if you keep doing more of that, then you're ready to do it at a bigger scale.
Perfect, thank you.
No worries. Claire, on that table.
Run over.
Thank you, Joe. Hi, Michelle.
Hello,
Lovely to
darling.
see you. As you know, I'm in the education space. You mentioned Kingston University are going to be at your event, which is very exciting. You also mentioned that you have to provide a solution that's business critical. I was thinking, what sort of problems do universities have that I might be able to solve? Because generally, I'm working with the students. I'm helping the students manage everything, anxiety, money, all the things. But what do the universities actually need?
So tell me, what's 2 things that you help with students now?
So I help them, for example, just last week I helped a university student with her calendar. She was very overwhelmed. She didn't have time to read for her lectures and everything. She was totally disorganized, and I helped her manage that. She joined too many clubs. She was going out too much, spending too much money. She was like not going to the things that she wanted to go to, and she wasn't coping at university in her first year.
So would you be up for either doing talks within universities about how to be more productive? Because, you know, many of these universities, they have like entrepreneurship programs. They bring in guest lecturers, guest speakers. So you can start by doing that. And once you do it often, then you can see what other needs are and find out how you can get involved. But that's how I started. I just went in as a guest speaker. I ended up now being... for Westminster, I ended up being a staff member. That wasn't the plan, but they wrote me in. But yeah, just go in as a guest speaker, find out if you've been to university before, start with your existing university. This is how I got Kingston in, because I used to go to Kingston University, and I know they have an entrepreneurship program, and they bring in guest speakers. So that's why I'm bringing them.
Yeah, okay, I love that.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. The lady behind you.
Hello. Hiya. My question's around consultancy and risk and managing corporate risk.
Yes.
So a big thing that scuppers growth or scale or looking at all the opportunities available with a corporate is your ability to manage the risk, the very real risks that they have. Just little things like, I say little things, GDPR,
No, it's a big thing. Yep.
data protection, and the legal structures around it.
Yes.
And would you recommend going to a consultant? And if you do, are there any free services? Are there any services that people can tap into?
So first and foremost, companies use consultants all the time.
For a small business?
For a small business. Yeah, so, and what they will do, if they, as long as I've got your question right, if a company wants to use a consultant, it could be for a small project, and they may ask you in terms of how big is your company, in terms of other people that can help you. So many of us, it might be one-man bands, but you know you can access the network. So if you couldn't do the work for them, you could bring in someone else. So that's the same with me. I've got like a very small team, and when I pitch to companies or when I speak to them, I always talk in we. So I would say, yes, we are able to consult on this. I also let them know about data protection, how their data's going to be stored. They're very hot on data. So, and I let them know about GDPR and the ICO, so they feel safe to work with me. So that's some of the things that we're going to be talking about. Actually, one of the procurement challenges that everyone's going to get is around risk. So the question is, and what people do on their table is, how will you make yourself less risky to a corporate?
Yeah.
So, and that's what we're going to be talking about as well. But yeah, you just need to just make sure that your data is secure and that you've got access to other networks. Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
My name's Danny, and I run a Facebook ads agency, and we work with knowledge-based business owners. Probably a lot of people similar in this room. We've had loads of success, got loads of case studies, but then like trying to crack the corporate market is something that I've been thinking about for a while. but it's like the question I have is around the relevance of, you know, the work that we've done and the credibility that we have in our space. How would I carry that across to a corporate to give them the same level of confidence? Because most of our work comes through, or a lot of our work comes through referrals and recommendations. And it's just like putting yourself in front of these people. Does that carry any weight in terms of, you know, because the work that we've done is in a very different space?
So I would say for like Facebook advertising and things like that, the big companies already have in-house specialists. So you want to go for medium-sized organizations. So it could be organizations that have up to 250 staff. They may have like a 5 million turnover. So these, you look at certain categories and you can offer yourself as an external Facebook advertising consultancy. You can even advise them, even if they have in-house, to make sure you can almost like do an audit to make sure that they're doing it right. And literally, like I would said, you will start small. So you might say, listen, let's have a conversation. Let me have a look at you know, your Facebook metrics. This is if you're doing a medium-sized organization, and take it from there. And the fact that you said case studies is great. They love case studies. So you can show them where the company was before and where they are now. It speaks volumes more than testimonials. So I think it's definitely a conversation you have with like medium-sized organizations. And to find them, literally use ChatGPT. I mean, there's no science to what I do at all. Literally, I will say into ChatGPT, this is for everyone, put me a list together of 50 medium-sized companies up to 250 staff in the centre of London, something like that. And then I will say, give me a list of the right people I need to contact in order to sell my Facebook advertising to. It lists them. Then you use those names and go onto hunter.io, HUNTER.io, to find their email addresses. Their email addresses might be on Twitter or X. So those kind of things. It's not science. Literally, ChatGPT will be your friend, and it will list you at least 50 companies you can pitch to and offer an auditing service to.
Amazing, thanks.
No problem. 2 more?
Hi, thank you. Hi, Michelle. Tricky to word, but I'm just going to go for it. So I've got 3 current corporate clients at the moment. I'm a life organiser, so think work-life balance consultant. All of them have PAs, of which they're not overly proactive. So each of these corporate clients don't tell anyone that I exist, because I'm effectively stepping on the PA's toes.
Yes.
So I organise their corporate lives, their personal lives, the blend that works for them, as well as kind of things in the future, so that they don't get burnt out and everything else. But how can I get more of them? Because I'm in effect a secret.
Do you know what you need to do? The people that you're already working for, because it's going to be quite incestuous. So you basically, you need to say to them, I'm doing a great job for you, but I have capacity for more. Is there anyone you know who's in a similar position to you, who doesn't want people to know, that you could personally recommend me to? That's how you would do it. It's nothing you could advertise on social media. That's going to come through their network. And understand that if you're doing it for one, they probably know other people. So I would use that route.
But in a networking situation, how would I then position myself? Because I don't want to tell people I'm a secret.
Could you not just say that you're a PA?
Yeah, I'm not a PA. I've come out of a 20-year career as a PA. I'm far more consultant-based now.
So you could, I would say you position.
I
would position myself as a consultant, as a private consultant.
Private consultant.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because that's already going to get people intrigued, like, oh, tell me more. And if you're talking to the right people, it's going to get you in, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Definitely. Awesome. I think one person over there in the blue.
Hey, good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. There's probably a few layers to this question. So I'm loving the roundtable idea. And the first part is online, virtual.
Yes, of course.
Or in person. And if in person, how are you costing that? Is that like a business expense? And then the third layer to that is, what's the return on investment that you've seen from that?
So the first one, yes, definitely claim it as a business expense, especially if you're not going to charge them for it. So some people you can charge for these small entry strategies, let's call them that. I don't necessarily do it because I'm usually very new to them and I want no barrier to entry. So I bear the cost and I put it as a business expense. And in terms of getting the return on investment, that's where you make sure you do a good job in the round table, get them really discussing. But it's your survey. Then at the end, and get them to do it in the room, is you ask them certain pertinent questions. What did you enjoy about today? Would you like more? What has it triggered? Because all of those types of coaching questions would lead you to go back to the person that brought you in and say, listen, based on this survey results, you cannot just stop here. That means the staff, the team, they are desperate for A, B, and C. And this is where I want to provide an offer for you. So that's how you would do it that way. So the return on investment will come back on the back of the survey. So you have to be good at what you do so that they give you good feedback. You need to ask the right questions that yield the responses you need in order to go back and say, this is what your team is saying. And usually they say things that they will never say in an office space. So the company will have no idea that this was happening, but you were able to pull it and draw it out of them. That's our skills as coaches, right? We just lean on our skills. That's it. Guys, thank you so much.
So amazing.